Now let's look at some examples. So Sam and Chad are ticket seller at their class play. Sam is selling student tickets for $2 each, and Chad is selling adult tickets for $5.5 each. If their total income for 24 tickets was $83, how many tickets did Sam sell? Okay. So here we can, for this kind of problem, we can set, if we want to use a system of linear equations, we can set Sam so X tickets and a Chad so Y tickets. So if we want to solve x and y, so we know we should have two equations, right? So the first equation is, we notice that x plus y equals total you both guys sold 24 tickets. And we have another equation is, if Sam sold x tickets, so the total income would be the 2x for student ticket. Chad sold the y ticket, so the total income for the adult ticket would be 5.5 times y. Then it's equal to, the total income is 83. So these are the two equations we have, okay? So if we want to use, so the next step is you just solve this problem. So here we can use many ways, right? We can use the substitution. You can write y equals 24 minus x, then plug in the second equation, you will get the answer, right? If you want to write x equals 24 minus y, then plug in the second equation, you'll get the answer also. Okay, so here's many equations. So, but here is, I want to use the one substitution method. We can write it because our question is to find the tickets did Sam sell. Okay, so that means we want to find x value. So we can write y in terms of x, right? So this is the equation 1 and this is the equation 2. So we can say that equation 1 gives you that y equals 24 minus x, right? This is equation 3. Then we plug in equation 3 into equation 2. Or substitute. Y equals 24 minus x into equation 2. Then you will have 2x plus 5.5 times 24 minus x equals 83. So this would be 2x plus 5.5 times 24 is equal to 132 minus 5.5x equals 83. Okay, so we combine the like terms. So this would be negative 3.5x, right? 132 and equals 83. So we isolate x term. So this would be 132 minus 83 equals 3.5x. Okay, we usually like to write the x on the left side, so let's change the left side and the right side. So 3.5x equals 123 minus 83. Okay, 132. So 132 minus 83 would be equal to 49. So this is the 49. 3.5x equals, so x equals 49 divided by 3.5 divided by 3.5 equals 14. So that means Sam sold 14. So Sam sold 14 tickets. The student tickets, right? So since the problem asks you to find how many tickets did Sam sold, so you just solve for x. If it also asks you to find how many tickets did Chad sell, so you need to get y values, right? So x equals 14, so you can plug in x equals 14 to the first equation. You will see y equals 10, right? So this is the one example. Now let's look at this example. Suppose the supply and demand equations for a logo sweatshirt in a particular week are P equals P is the price, Q is the quantity. P is equal to 55 minus 0.1 times Q for demand equation, and P equals 0.2 Q times Q plus 25 for the supply equation. Find the equilibrium price and the quantity. So we have learned the knowledge about the supply and demand analysis, that the equilibrium price and quantity means the P and Q, the values of P, which is the price, the values of the Q, which is the quantity, should satisfy these two equations at the same time, okay, or simultaneously. So this problem gives you two equations already. So we need to find P and find Q for these two equations. So you have two equations, the P equals 55 minus 0.10 times Q, and this is P equals 0.20 Q plus 25. Okay, so these two equations, we have two variables. Instead of x, y, we use P and Q. They are the same thing, right? We just use the different letters. So here we can use the substitution method, right? The reason is we know P is equal to, from the first equation, we just plug in first equation into the second equation, right? This is the first equation. This is the second equation. We plug in or substitute 1 into the second equation. Then you will have, so P on the left side of the second equation, P is actually given by 1, the equation 1, which is 55 equals 0.1 times Q, right? We ignore 0 here. Equals 0.2 times Q plus 25. So we add a 0.1 on both sides, 0.1 Q on both sides, so you will have 55 equals 0.3 Q plus 25. So we subtract 25, so this would be 30 equals 0.3 times Q. So if Q is equal to 30 divided by 0.3, which is 100, right? So you should, the quantity for the t-shirt is 100. So what is the price? We just plug in any equation you want. So if, for example, we plug in the first equation. So we plug the Q equals 100 into the first equation. Then you will have P is equal to 55 minus 0.10 times 100, right? So you will get P is equal to 55 minus 0.1 times 110, so P is equal to 45. So $45 is the equilibrium price. Okay, so the equilibrium price price is $45. The equilibrium quantity is 100. Okay. In this example, Daisy has a desk full of quarters and nickels. If she has a total of 23 coins with a total face value of $4.35, how many of the coins are nickels? Okay. So here, if we assume that we have X quarters, X quarters, and we have how many Y nickels? Okay. So the value of the quarters would be, so the total number of the coins is X plus Y, right, equals 23. The values of the quarters, which is 0.25 times X, right, and the values of the nickels is 0.05 times Y. So if you add together, what would be the total face value, which is given by 4.35. So now we want to know how many nickels. So we want to solve for Y, right? So here, so for this linear, so we form from the problem, we form the two linear equations. So we have many ways to solve it, right? So you can use the substitution method. You can set Y equals 23 minus X, and you plug in the second equation, you can solve for Y. Right, this is a very quick way. But here, I just want to help you to be familiar with the method. So here, I will use the elimination by addition method. So we multiply this, if this is the equation 1 and this is the equation 2. So we multiply the equation 1 by negative 0.05 on both sides. So you have negative 0.05 x minus 0.05y equals, so multiply this negative on 23rd, so this would be negative 1.15. So this is equation 3. If we add the equation 2 and equation 3 up, so you will have, if you add them up, so this is equation 2. We add equation 3. So you can see we can eliminate y, right? So this would be 0.2x plus 0 equals 3.2. Okay, 3.2. So x equals 3.2 divided by 0.2, which is 16 coins. So we know what is y. We want to find y. So we plug in x equals 16 into the first equation, right? So plug x equals 16 into first equation. So we know that this is 16 plus y, the total coins are 23 coins, so y must be 7. So we have 7 nickels.